injury. Now, after a long call and a long, period when people were demanding his resignation, Deputy Inspector General Police Eliud Lagat stepped aside yesterday pending investigations into the death of Albert Ojwang. In a statement dated 16th, Lagat said the move was in good and conscious thought on his role and responsibilities. He cited the ongoing investigations into Ojwang's death as the reason for temporarily vacating office. Lagat added that his deputy will perform the office's function until investigations are concluded. He expressed willingness to support the investigation process and extended condolences to Ojwang's family. Ojwang died after an alleged assault while in custody at Central Police Station, Nairobi. The case has triggered public outrage and led to the arrest of the station's OCS Samson Talam. Investigations are ongoing, led by the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, or IPOA. Meanwhile, the officer commanding Central Police Station, Samson Talam, will remain in custody until today, when the court will rule whether he will be detained for 21 days or not. Talam was arrested over alleged involvement in the murder of Albert Ojwang inside Central Police Station cells. The Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, filed a miscellaneous application seeking his detention for 21 more days. IPOA argued that more time is needed to complete investigations and conduct forensic analysis on seized electronic devices. The application was supported by an affidavit from Abdirahman Jibril, a senior IPOA investigations officer. The affidavit claims Talam planned, directed, and attempted to cover up the fatal assault on Ojwang.
Indicated, our application is dated 16th of June 2025, the year of the Lord. In summary, what we are requesting this court to do is to issue an order for what the Constitution calls detention continuing.
Denying bond on very flimsy grounds. Did they read Article 21? I am certain that they ignored it because mistakes.
There is also admission from the defense that the person sitting as the respondent before you is the OCS. While they had questioned it in their affidavit, they have admitted several. And not just the OCS. He's the OCS of, according to Mr. Cliff Umeta, one of the greatest stations in Kenya. And that is not enough. According to Mr. Omari, he has been in the police service for 29 years.
That the reason why you are inviting the court to order the pre-charge detention of the suspect before court is because you have fear that he might run away from the jurisdiction of this court, isn't it?
Yes. I believe this issue of the jurisprudence on pre-detention, pre-trial detention is well settled. It's just a matter of, a case-to-case, adopting whatever the law states to what the facts are. So I want to thank you for that. I propose we come back on Wednesday at 2 p.m. for a ruling. So in the meantime, I'm not sure, can the respondent still be detained remanded at the Langata?
So today we'll get to know whether Talam is going to spend the next 21 days in remand. I still feel sorry for the guy. I don't know. I just got this feeling within me that probably he's taking the heat for somebody else. But we'll find out. A Kibra court has allowed police to detain 2 suspects accused of assaulting the late Ojwang for 14 days pending investigations. Kibra magistrate Daisy Mutai set the 7th of July as the day for mentioning of further orders. The Independent Policing and Oversight Authority argues that the suspects be escorted to a government chemist for DNA sampling and their electronic gadgets be seized and subjected to analysis. The two suspects, Gin Amito and Collins Karani, are to be held at Muthangari Police Station and Kileleshwa Police Station, respectively. Now, let me get this. It was reported by one of the sentries or police officers who was manning the prison, the cells, that these two guys were brought in, paid 2,000 shillings and told to beat up Ojwang. So they beat him up, and then the sentry, who's also been arraigned, says that he came out and then told his bosses that this guy needed to go to hospital because incidentally he had been beaten beyond what they had planned. And that's how Ojwang passed on. So police hire goons. Now, let me move a little bit from the story. Yesterday I had an opportunity to sit with a couple of people, some of whom have been involved in, demonstrations and all that and that kind of stuff. And one of them told me that there's one of, ODM's guys who was arrested and taken to, I think it was Central Police Station. And in the middle of the night, the police bring in guys who are like street families, who come in there and they beat you up. He told me, and this is what he told me, so this is alleged because he's the one who told me, I wasn't there. He tells me that this particular individual, a senior member, one of the guys in ODM, was actually sodomized inside the prison. He became so embarrassed he cannot say it. You know what I'm saying? So some of these things happen. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has announced a new raft of policy reform frameworks in the National Police Service to streamline efficiency in police stations across the nation. Addressing the press, Murkomen noted that the reforms were created to make Kenyan police stations centers of excellence. The reforms include the mandatory installation of CCTV surveillance in all 1,209 stations for the next 2 years, which Murkomen said shall be manned by the officer commanding station. He added that he will be making proposals to Parliament to enact laws that criminalize tampering with CCTV cameras and that the OCS should report CCTV failure within an hour after the occurrence.
The aspirational fulfillment of constitutional standards under Article 244, I have today directed the implementation of the following policy reforms framework in the National Police Service. First, on CCTV surveillance, it shall be mandatory to equip police stations with CCTV surveillance to enhance transparency and accountability. All the police stations currently standing at 1,209 shall have CCTV surveillance within the next 2 years. We shall be making proposals to Parliament to enact laws that criminalize tampering with CCTV cameras. The surveillance system shall be in the custody of the officer commanding station, and the said officer shall be required to ensure that the system is always functioning. And instances of fault, it shall be reported within 1 hour through the established chain of command. The CCTV shall have an external backup.
Now, former Chief Justice David Maraga is now calling for the immediate arrest of the DCI Director, Mohammed Amin, and the Inspector General Douglas Kanja for lying under oath in the murder of Albert Ojwang. The former CJ has called for the arrest and prosecution of Deputy Inspector General of Police Eliud Lagat, alleging that available evidence links him directly or indirectly to the brutal murder of blogger and teacher Alberto Juang. He further warned that should no action be taken, he will join Kenyans in the streets to demand justice and accountability.
The three institutions charged with the maintenance of law and order, that's the National Police Service, the DCI, and the IPOA, have lied on oath. Consequently, the Kenyans have lost trust in, the Kenyan people have lost trust in them. This cannot be allowed to continue. Our institutions of human rights and justice need a serious resetting and rebuilding. To begin this resetting and rebuilding process, we demand the arrest of the DCI because he lied on oath, and the IG, as well as Mr. Lagat himself, and they be prosecuted, and those, of course, who are associated with the murder of Juang. To clear this, to be clear, we support the efforts of the other Kenyans who have already petitioned for private prosecution. And if no action is taken, we will join them and come up even with fresh charges against them. And we demand that this be done on or before the 25th of June.
Maraga has become very, very active. He had intimated he wants to become the president of the Republic of Kenya. I like him. I don't know whether he has the charisma to become a president. I like his values. He stands on good, he's well principled. During his reign as Chief Justice, well, we got to know a lot about him. One of the things that stood out is that you couldn't bribe him. And I guess that's what we're looking for, right? We are looking for somebody whose moral values we espouse. These are the things that we want to see. He stands for what we stand for. Because this country will need a president who you cannot bribe. Once we get somebody who's got morals, then that principle and that character will permeate every aspect of government. What I can say is that every government basically is a reflection of the head of state. If the head of state is a straight person who does his things straight, then everybody under him is going to do the same. If the head of state is not straight, he's corrupt, whatever he is what the state, the country is going to reflect. So if you want to know what kind of a leader you have, just look at the character of the institution, and that will reflect the kind of person who heads it. Now, the government has ordered the immediate closure of over 500 gold mining sites in West Pokot County following the collapse of the Kambi Karaya site on Sunday, where at least one person was confirmed dead, with rescue efforts still underway to retrieve miners believed to be trapped underground. Some of the mining sites to be closed include Kambi Karaya, Takwel Seker, Morita, and Romos, among others located within the Pokot Central, Kipkomo, Kacheliba, and Kapenguria sub-counties. Speaking during a presser, West Pokot County Commissioner Khalif Abdullahi said the decision was reached after consultation with security agencies and officials from the State Department of Mining and relevant ministries.
The government has directed the closure of all mining sites within West Pokot County with immediate effect. There are over 500 gold mining sites. In the last few days, we had fatalities, mining-related deaths. We had 4 deaths recently and 5 casualties in Takwel area. We have had environmental degradation caused by unlawful and unregulated mining activities within West Pokot County. The long-term environmental impact of the unregulated mining include water and air pollution as a major concern. It has left deep holes, dirty water in rivers, particularly River Takwel. The government has put in measures and has established a mining office in Kapenguria to regulate the growing artisanal mining activities and improve also access to government services, including licensing, compliance, enforcement, and safety monitoring.
Well, let's cross the border. It looks like East Africa during this period, there's a lot of infringing of other people's rights. Like Tanzanian opposition leader Tundu Lissu protested his treatment in prison while appearing before Kisutu Magistrate Court in Dar es Salaam. The Chadema leader was granted right to represent himself in the ongoing treason case against him. Lissu, whose Chadema party was disqualified from the October election, was arrested for his call for electoral reforms before the polls. Rights organizations have called his arrest and detention a political persecution of opponents in Tanzania, calling for openness and accountability.
Kwamba wakili na mshtakiwa wanatakiwa wasisikilizwe maneno wanayozungumza na mtu mwingine yeyote ni sehemu ya sheria kuu za kimataifa, Mheshimiwa Hakimu. The body of principles for the protection of all persons under any form of detention or imprisonment. Hizi body of principles inaitwa maarufu kama the Mandela Principles.
Lakini kwa sasa mshtakiwa atajitetea mwenyewe kama alivyoomba, ombi lake limekubaliwa na upande wa utetezi wameridhia hivyo. Kwa hiyo kuanzia sasa ni mawakili wa serikali dhidi ya mshtakiwa.
All right, the escalating conflict between Israel and Iran has entered its fifth day, with both nations launching fresh missile strikes over the night, defying growing international calls for restraint and diplomatic resolution. Iran's early Monday offensive targeted key Israeli infrastructure, including an oil refinery and portions of the national power grid, causing widespread disruption and stoking fears of a broader regional crisis. Civilians on both sides continue to bear the brunt of the hostilities. In Iran, panic gripped Tehran as explosion near the capital prompted residents to flee in large numbers, seeking refuge in safer regions. Meanwhile, in Israel, large plumes of smoke and fire were visible throughout the night, with several residential buildings reportedly hit by incoming missiles. Casualties are steadily growing, though exact figures remain unconfirmed due to the fluid nature of the conflict. Humanitarian agencies have expressed deep concern over the worsening conditions and have urged both sides to open humanitarian corridors and avoid civilian targets. In retaliation, the Israeli Defense Forces launched a series of airstrikes targeting command centers linked to the Quds Force, a powerful and covert branch of Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps. into action. Embattled Lagat, he bows to pressure and leaves office. OCS Talam denies role in Ojwang's murder. Baby Pendo murder suspects freed on bail. Rotten at the top inside the deadly secrets of Central Police Station. How Standard covered the Ojwang murder. As in, it's a whole lot of bad news. Amin blamed suicide in another police station killing 13 years ago. Now, I mean, some of the facts that are coming out about this guy are very interesting. Did you know that Amin was actually a witness in the ICC in Ruto's case? He testified in favor of Ruto. Now it turns out he's the one who directed the DCI officers to go all the way to Homa Bay to go and arrest Ojwang. And many questions. Maneno iko mingi. Then Mukhwana, I was following my boss's orders. Mukhwana is the guy who had the keys to the cell where Ojwang was murdered. And one of the things he was saying is that there were directives to bring in some guys, inmates, humongous human beings, who came into the cell and beat up Ojwang until they beat him up senseless to a point whereby he was unable to stand, and Mukhwana told his bosses, hey, we got to take this guy to hospital. Obviously they didn't. Gachagua credits survival to state inside the network. Then the back page, oh, what a mismatch. Bayern Munich score record 10 against amateurs Auckland City. Kwani ni volleyball. Then Bundesliga champions take on Argentina. Argentine giants Boca Juniors in their next tie on Friday. All right? We go for a short break. Got to drink some water as I bring my analysts so that we can talk about some of the things that are happening in this country. All right? Don't go away.